Hi, welcome to the chat show here on Buzzing Pattaya, the show where we talk about things that are happening right here, right now, and answering your questions that you guys kindly send in to me. I've got some great questions this week, so thank you so much for everybody taking the time to send in your questions. If you've got something you want to ask, please feel free, drop a comment below, ping me an email, 247pattaya@gmail.com, and I will do my very best to answer you. So, change of scenery today. Yes, I'm not on my balcony. In fact, I'm down in Soi 15, and it's a bit noisy. Hang on. Now, if those of you that watch my thing, no little penis, there you go. So I'm down in the Hideaway, and if you're not sure where that is, it's in Soi 15. It's a great location, and it really is a good place. Come down, they've got a fantastic breakfast, lots of menu, food here, options, and I'm actually going to be speaking to Andy in the not so distant future, and he's going to join us here on the channel, which is fantastic. So there we go. Right, now, questions. So I've got some really good questions from Steve, from Nino, Hiroshi, Thomas, Michael, and Daz. They've all sent in some questions, so thank you very much, guys. And the first question that's been asked to me by Stephen is saying, what changes would I like to see when bars reopen? What changes would I like to see when the bars reopen? And that's a good question because, you know, the bars have been under a lot of pressure, as we know, with the current situation. Many of them have been closed for far, far too long, and, you know, we don't know when they're going to reopen. But I guess for me, if I'm being totally truthful, the one thing I'd like to see change more than anything else is I would like to see bars take away mobile phones from the girls. And I'll tell you why. You know, if you go down like Soi 6, if you go down Soi 6, for instance, you know, they're all sat there on their phones, they're just tapping away, and the customer interaction, in my opinion, rightly or wrongly, but I think has gone downhill. So I think for me, if I could change one thing when all the bars reopen, that would be the removal of phones and allow the girls to check the phones on their breaks. You know, they all get breaks, so there's lots of times that they can jump on their phone and talk to people. But I think having a phone in their hand 24/7, day in, day out, really doesn't help the bar experience, in my opinion. Rightly or wrongly, but that's what I think. So I guess to answer your question, Stephen, that would be the one thing that I would like to change, is take away the phones and allow them to use the phones at intervals when they're on their breaks. I don't know, guys, what would you change? You know, it's all well and good asking me, but what would you change? What would be the one thing that you would like to change in the bars moving forward when things resume to the new, whatever that will be, the new normal? So Stephen, that's your question. Hopefully that's answered your question. So for me, none of this and plenty of hello, come in, have a drink, plenty of that. Nino, now what a question you've asked me, my friend. My lord, where to look for a serious relationship here and signs of scamming? Oh man, you know, you're coming to Pattaya and you're looking for a serious relationship. Schoolboy error number one. I mean, in all honesty, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of non-working girls here. You know, you go around the shopping malls, you go around the, you know, all those kind of places. There's a lot of girls that are not working in the industry, but don't forget, these girls associate with other girls that perhaps are working in the industry. So, you know, there will always be discussions about money, etc. And that's to be expected and it's understood. So, to find a serious relationship, I would say, number one, avoid all these dating agencies. I don't trust them myself personally, not that I use them anyway. But the point being is, I just think there's too many options there to be information to be falsified. So, you know, again, just be very careful of that. Obviously, hello fella, thank you very much. Obviously, regarding going into the bars to look for a serious relationship, perhaps not really the best environment, should I say. I mean, nothing against the girls, they're lovely, you know, they're fantastic. But my point being is perhaps they're not really the picture perfect industry that you want to be looking for a relationship in. I guess really, you know, the biggest thing is to network outside of this industry. You know, go and find coffee shops, go and find places away from here, make friends that have got friends, that kind of routine. You know, just try and stay away from what is genuinely and specifically very obvious is the industry that we're referring to right now. You know, when I go home to Korat, I can take you to loads of places like Thai restaurants, and again, another place is these Thai mukata, you know, where they put the food on the hot barbecue. You know, these kind of places where they turn into a nightclub as well after, you know, they're great places. You know, you need to be a little bit tip-top on your Thai language, but, you know, generally speaking, it's a good place to go and have a look. So for me, that's where I would be looking if I was in the market. In terms of scams, I mean, you know, just use your own common sense, really. I mean, in terms of, you know, there's only so many times grandma can be ill, or only so many times the buffalo can die. You know, you've got to have your wits about you. I would suggest keeping your financial situation close to your chest. Don't really share that information, because in all honesty, you know, the more you talk about it, the more they're going to think, oh, hello, we'll have a bit of that. So again, you know, just be very wary of that kind of information that you share, particularly early on in your relationship, because in all honesty, you know, you're only lining yourself up. You know, that's in my honesty. So I think just play those cards close to your chest. But to throw it back to the guys watching the channel, guys, you know, what do you think? Where would you go if you were looking for a for a serious relationship? You know, where would you go? Now, talking about here in this industry, Hiroshi says, what is the best time to bar fine? I mean, again, you know, some people will disagree with what I'm going to say, and it doesn't mean what I say is right. I'm just being honest with you. But, you know, you can go into a bar early and pay a bar fine and get the particular girl to accompany you around for the evening, if that's your thing. It might make things a little bit awkward later on, particularly if you go into another bar and someone else takes your eye. You know, then you think, oh dear, what do I do? Likewise, you might want to go off and have your fun, and, you know, the famous, well, we laugh about the buffalo's always sick. How many times do you think these girls hear the words, I'll be back? You know, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It doesn't happen, does it? Well, very rarely. So if you are in that kind of mindset where you think, oh, you know, I'll come back. Come on, guys, you know, as soon as you walk out the door, they're going to be like, yeah, of course he is. You might well go back. And if you do, fantastic. But the chances are she may not be still in the bar. She might have gone off and you know, done something else with her evening or with somebody else. So you can always shoot yourself in the foot if you leave it too late. So you could strike early, you can strike late. You know, it really is horses for courses. It's not a very easy one to judge. I would just say to yourself, maybe ask yourself this question. If you don't bar fine then and there, at that moment in time, and you went back, how disappointed would you be if that said person wasn't there? If you'd be gutted and disappointed, it would ruin your night, well then pay the bar fine. If you say to yourself, oh well, never mind, there's another day, well then, you know, come back and chance your arm. So it's horses for courses, but to be fair to you, there isn't any real given time. I mean, particularly if you're a bit of a player and you like to go out and have a bit of fun, but then again, be up front with the girl. Some girls will be okay with it, some won't, you know, but I guess you have to, you know, heads I do, tails I don't. But whatever you do, make sure that whatever decision you come to, be it bar fine now or bar fine later, whatever you do, make sure you're happy to take that chance and take that risk if you're going to leave it till later on that she may or may not be there. So, you know, just bear that in mind, guys. And, you know, if it does go pear-shaped, don't think to yourself, oh, damn, you know, that was such a bad decision. You know, it's one of those things. So to be honest with you, Hiroshi, I would say go with your gut feeling, my friend. Go with your gut feeling. Thomas, now this isn't really a question. Well, I guess it is, but it's more of a statement. Thomas said that he has been contacting Phuket hospitals considering this ASQ's, this sandbox. And a lot of the hotels have said to him that he cannot bring any company back with him if that was what he wanted to choose. So based on the fact that this is like the quarantine sandbox issue, he was okay with that. But what Thomas has also found is contacting some of the Pattaya hotels here away from the sandbox, having done his quarantine. A lot of these have also said you can't have any joiners. So it's a bit of a tricky one because truthfully, obviously it's not something I'd go out and ask for obvious reasons. Mo would kill me and I wouldn't do that to her. But my point being is, have you had that same experience, guys? You know, you guys are more your feet on the ground. You're out there looking around, finding out what's going on in terms of hotels and accommodation. Have you had that issue? Have you had a hotel come back to you and say, no, sorry, there are no joiners here in Pattaya? And if you have, you know, drop the name of the hotel, because it's good information for everybody else that follows the channel to see, oh, okay, well, this place won't allow it, this place will, or this place is, you know, they're not sure yet. And let's share that information. And guys, if you haven't joined our Discord group, please, there's a link in the description below. Come across and have a look. There's over 2,000 people in there. We do have a hotel section where you could pop the comment in there as well and maybe share your information with those guys that are on Discord. But for me to answer it, I can't say that I'm surprised with the sandbox system, because the whole purpose of you being there is to keep yourself kind of like to yourself in that respect, but also have an option to go around the island. So for not allowing you to bring a guest back kind of makes sense. But once you've done that part and you come here, I'm surprised that that's the angle that the hotels are taking. But if that's their angle, that's their angle. We're not here to judge that. We just got to accept it. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Thomas. I've got to be honest with you, my friend. Bit of a weird one that, but hey ho. Michael. So Michael said to me, where are the best markets in Pattaya? And I have to say, it's a very open-ended question, because a lot of it depends on what you're looking for. So before I talk about markets in their specific locations, if you take, for instance, like electrical equipment, I would 100% go to Tukkom on the Pattaya. It's a very, very good electrical superstore stroke warehouse. Go there. There is everything and anything to do with electrics that you can find in there. So you're really never going to be struggling to find things electrical-wise. Cameras, original mobile phones, knockoff mobile phones, copies, all that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of laptops. There's all kinds of services that you can find there. So if you're needing a specific program you want adding to your laptop, then they can do that for you, if you know what I'm saying. There's some really good quality camera shops there. I get my camera equipment from a place there. So there is a really, really good depth of electrical equipment available there in Tukkom. So I would suggest going there. In terms of fashion, in terms of like clothing and stuff like that, now you're going to have to do the balancing act. If you go to a market, you are going to get obviously cheaper products. As to the quality of those products and the duration that they're going to last you before they start falling apart, truthfully, it depends on the wear and tear you put them through. If you're looking for high-end products and original, then you would go to somewhere like maybe go to the Hilton Horizon, go to the shopping mall there, you know, Terminal 21, these kind of places which are a lot more high-end. They're probably going to be the better ones for you. So in terms of actual markets, now we've got two what I would call go-to areas. You've got the Soy Buakhao market. Now that's available on a Tuesday and a Friday, and that's in the beginning part. So when you come from Pattaya end, where Tukkom is, if you go from there into Soy Buakhao, there's a little S-bend. And when you go around that S-bend, basically that is where the market is. You can't miss it. It's a big, big market. And there's everything in there. You know, there's clothing, there's football shirts, there's all kinds of stuff in there. You really just have a wander around. It's probably about the size of a football pitch. And there's a lot of stuff in there. So have a look in there. It's available on a Tuesday and a Friday. Starts really early in the morning and finishes quite late in the afternoon. And go in there and have a wander around. Just a little note for you, don't go carrying wads of cash. Yeah, just take what you think you're going to spend and no more. You don't need to be showing, oh, I've got all this money on me. I'm not saying that you won't be safe in there, but what I am saying is just don't tempt fate. Simple as that. Now, if you know where Trepasit is, which is over towards Jomtien, it's between Second Road and Jomtien, go down Trepasit Road. It's a big, big, long road. Now, they've got a market there on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday. The market normally starts to get put together around about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but goes on into the evening, and it's huge. And there's all kinds of things, you know, from clothing to food to animals even. You know, if you want to go there and buy yourself a dog, there's so many things. Shoes, accessories. There really is so many different things that are available for you to go to. And it does, not right now, although it's still okay, but it does get really busy in the new normal time. So if you're back in the day, if you've been to Trepasit, again, you will know what I'm talking about. It can get very busy. So what I would suggest to you is those are the two main markets. Now guys, you might disagree, you might have a market you go to, and please, you know, again, share that in Marketplace. Where do you go, or where's your recommendation for a market? I'm not saying there aren't other good markets here, there are, but for me, those are the two kind of go-to markets where I think I've got a very high chance of finding what it is I'm looking for in those markets. So last question, and Do you know what? It's weird. I was talking to Bo about this earlier on, and it was just like, yeah, it's a valid point. So Daz says, what can you buy with a Satang? And if you don't know what the Satang is, it's the tiny little copper coin that they give you, and there's 100 Satang to every 1 Thai baht. Yep, you heard me. There's 100 Satang to every 1 Thai baht. So I think the Satang really, and I might be wrong here, so help me out because I'm not the sharpest pencil in the case, but I think the Satang is more aimed at the exchange rate, so it's like 44.36 Satang. But that 36 is irrelevant really, unless you're changing up a lot of money, and then that will get round up to like 36 baht or 360 baht, whatever. I have to say, in my condo and back home, I have a pot full of all those coins, and I give them to the kids. I give them to my kids and they count them all out, and I don't even know what they do with them, to be totally truthful. I'm guessing they probably wrap them up in hundreds and go and change them for a 1 baht coin. I don't know. But I have to say, it is a very valid point. What do you do with a Satang? Because you can't go into a bar and say, I'll have a drink please, and they say, yeah, it's 60 baht and 10 Satang. We don't use that coin, so I'm not quite sure where that comes from, if I'm being brutally truthful. But anyway, in answer to your question, Daz, I think, and guys help me out here because I'm sure I'm probably wrong, but I think it may well be more aimed at the currency exchange rates. I think, I don't know. 1 second, let me swapsh manal. Well, it's not actually swapsh manal, it's a Nam Soda Al Manal. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's been really close today, really hot and muggy, and yeah, it's a bit of a thing with the old sore throat. And that drain cover over there, I'm going to pick it up and launch it over there in a minute. I didn't realise, you sit there in these locations and it's ga-ding, ga-ding, ga-ding. I mean, when I'm on my balcony, I've got the train, and now I've picked this place, and I thought, let's come to the Hideaway and let's come and say hello to Andy. He's a lovely guy, and they've got a fantastic range of food, etc. here. And I got the ga-ding, ga-ding. Ah, typical me, really. All right, so there we go, guys. That's today's questions. Please, if you've got a question, please drop me an email in the link below, 247pattaya@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to answer them. But just to recap there, Stephen, what changes would I like to see when bars reopen? No, none of these mobile phones. I don't want mobile phones in our hands. I think we've had enough of that. Let's start afresh and let's make you the focus of the attention, not this. Nino, where to look for a serious relationship here and any signs of scamming? Just go about your normal everyday life away from the bar scene, and thank you. And regards to scamming, well, there's only so many times the buffalo can die and grandma can be sick, so just, you know, keep a note of it. Oh really, darling? Well, you said that to me a week ago, so, you know, just keep your savvy head on. Hiroshi says, best time to bar fine. I'm going to use that classic statement now, up to you. That's the old classic statement, up to you. Do it early, do it late, but whatever you do, whatever decision you choose, make sure you're happy with that decision, because once you've made the decision, that's it. You're done and dusted. There's no turning back. Thomas, Phuket cannot take the girls to your hotel. Is it the same in Pattaya? 2 hotels have said they can't. Guys, what do you say? You know, you're the ones that are out there on the ground. Have you experienced it yourself? If you have, please, you know, drop your comments below. Michael says, what are the best markets in Pattaya? For me, it has to be Soy Buakhao on a Tuesday and a Friday, and it has to be Trepasit Market on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I would definitely look at those. And obviously you've got Tukkom for all your electrical stuff. And Daz said, what can you buy with a Satang? There's 100 Satang to every 1 baht. So I truthfully don't know. I think it's more aimed at the exchange rates. But if I'm wrong, guys, please help me out. Drop your comments below. Be fantastic. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Please, as always, remember, hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I bring out a new video. Check out our members area. We've got more and more businesses now coming on board, offering you guys members either a free Buzzin shop when you go in, or perhaps you get some discount off of the services or the products that you're using in that particular time. They're going to start drilling. They've got to be quick. Join our Discord group. There's over 2,000 people in there now who said that Telegram was where we should have stayed and not hop over to the Discord. There's over 2,000 there. Guys, if you haven't joined, there's a link down below. Come and join. It's a great bit of banter and it's always good fun. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching, and please, as always, wherever you are in the world, stay safe.